Faith Fraser alive. 3 words that tear open old wounds and send shockwaves through time itself. For years, Claire and Jamie carried the unbearable grief of losing their firstborn Faith, the child they never got to hold, the little girl they mourned in silence. Her death shattered them, defined them. And yet, what if it was never the end? In the stunning premiere of Outlander Season 8, everything changes. A single revelation, a name whispered in the darkness, cracks open the past and rewrites the story we thought we knew. Faith Fraser didn't die. She was taken. But by whom? And why? As echoes of the past bleed into the present, Claire begins to experience haunting visions, a child with flame-kissed hair and Jamie's piercing eyes. They're not dreams. They feel real. Too real. Like memories that were never hers to begin with. What begins as a fragile thread of hope quickly unravels into a dangerous pursuit of truth, one cloaked in betrayal, cloaked identities, and centuries-old secrets buried deep in the shadows of history. Every step closer to the truth puts Jamie and Claire at greater risk, not only of losing their lives, but of uncovering a pain deeper than death itself. Could their daughter truly be alive, living in the hidden folds of time? And if so, why was she taken, and who has kept her from them for all these years? This isn't just a mystery. It's a reckoning. A seismic shift in the very soul of the Fraser family. And as the whispers grow louder, as the visions become more vivid, one terrifying question remains. Is this fate offering them a second chance, or delivering the cruelest heartbreak of all? Determined to understand the truth behind these haunting images, Claire embarks on a quest that will take her down a path more dangerous than she ever imagined. It's not just her sanity at stake, but her very life, because the truth about Faith's return is guarded by forces that will stop at nothing to keep it hidden. Jamie is trapped in a whirlwind of disbelief and a fragile, flickering hope. The impossible notion that Faith, the daughter they mourned for so long, might still be alive, shatters him to his core. How could he have spent years buried in grief, only to discover she could have been out there all this time, hidden away? The pain of loss now mingles with the sharp sting of betrayal. But as Jamie and Claire embark on this impossible search, they realize they're not just chasing shadows, they're unraveling a dangerous conspiracy that runs deeper than they ever could have imagined. Enemies from their past, long thought vanquished, return from the darkness, their motives as twisted as the secrets they're desperate to keep buried. Every step closer to the truth only drags them further into a web of lies that threatens everything they fought for. Why would someone go to such lengths to keep Faith's existence a secret? Who would be monstrous enough to tear her away from her parents, her rightful place in their arms? As Claire digs deeper into the fractured pieces of a past she thought was long buried, every clue she uncovers leads her toward a terrifying truth. Faith's return isn't a miracle, it's a cold, calculated deception. What was once the hope of a family reunited quickly spirals into a nightmare of betrayal. Faith hasn't come back by chance. She's been sent, manipulated into their lives by an old, merciless enemy with one goal in mind: revenge. Caught in a deadly race against time, Claire finds herself forced to confront the horrifying reality that the truth could cost her everything: her daughter, her future, and even her own life. Each step forward reveals a chilling new layer of the conspiracy, unraveling not just the present, but every belief she's ever held about the past. Faith's return doesn't just reopen old wounds, it tears through the very heart of Claire and Jamie's love. Now, they must face the ghosts of their past, the choices they couldn't undo, and the promises they couldn't keep. Their bond, once unbreakable, is pushed to its limits as secrets, long buried, rise from the depths. The fight is no longer just for their daughter, it's a desperate battle to hold on to each other. Because Faith's return is not the end of a story, it's the beginning of a much darker tale. A tale where the stakes are not just their family, but the very fabric of time itself. And just when Claire thinks she's uncovered the worst of it, a figure steps out from the shadows, one she believed lost to time, Master Raymond. Mysterious, otherworldly, and cloaked in riddles, Raymond holds ancient knowledge that defies logic. He warns Claire that some truths are too powerful to be unearthed. That Faith's survival defies fate itself, that to pursue her could unleash consequences far beyond their world. Yet, Claire cannot turn back. Driven by a mother's love, she presses forward undaunted, unflinching, and determined to uncover the full truth. That truth: Faith was taken at birth not by chance, but by design. A secret order known only as the Shadows of Fate believed Faith to be a threat to the timeline, a child born out of step with destiny, one who could unravel the power they've guarded for centuries. To maintain their grip on history, they erased Faith, hiding her in the shadows, rewriting reality itself. But now the shadows are stirring. Faith's presence threatens to undo everything. And the war between time, power, and love has only just begun. The road ahead is treacherous. And for the Frasers, the cost of truth may be far greater than the cost of silence. The question is no longer if Faith is alive, but what she's become, and whether saving her will mean losing everything else. But something went horribly wrong. The timeline, once stable, began to crumble, and with it, Faith's presence began to ripple through time, her voice calling out to Claire in a way that can't be explained. The haunting visions that Claire has been plagued with, they're not mere dreams. They are echoes, fragments of Faith's life, reaching across the fabric of time itself, desperately seeking the parents she's never known. The truth is more horrifying than Claire could have ever imagined. Faith has been alive all this time, growing up in a world where she never knew the love of her real parents. A world where she's been lost, hidden away, and kept from the family who should have cherished her. But why now? Why are the echoes suddenly intensifying, reaching across the centuries now, after all this time? The answer comes from Master Raymond, and it's a truth that freezes Claire's blood. Faith is in grave danger. The shadows of fate, the dark forces manipulating time, are preparing to eliminate her once and for all, to restore the timeline to its original, unchanging state. If Claire doesn't act fast, Faith will be lost, forever erased from history as if she never existed. Fueled by a love deeper than anything she's ever known, and the terror of losing her daughter once more, Claire races back to Jamie with the devastating truth. But his reaction is not what she expects. Jamie is furious that she kept this from him, furious that she risked her life without him. Yet beneath his anger is a raw, heart-shattering pain, the pain of a father who dared to hope, only to have that fragile hope ripped away again. Jamie can't bear the thought of losing Faith again, not after all these years of unimaginable grief. But Claire will not give up. With unwavering conviction, she convinces him that they must fight no matter the cost, because Faith is their daughter, and she needs them now more than ever. Together, they embark on a treacherous journey, racing against time to find Faith before the shadows of fate can erase her from their lives for good. But they're not alone in this hunt. The shadows of fate are closing in, determined to eliminate her from the timeline, and nothing will stand in their way. As Jamie and Claire follow the echoes through time, they realize they're walking into a trap. Their enemies are waiting, ready to destroy anyone who stands in their way. And the closer they get to Faith, the more dangerous the journey becomes. The journey becomes more dangerous, stakes higher than ever before. One wrong move could change the course of history, or end their lives. But Jamie and Claire won't back down. Not now. Not when they're so close to finding their daughter. Jamie and Claire are no longer just parents desperate to reunite with their lost daughter. They are warriors, willing to risk everything they have, even their very lives, to bring Faith home. But with shadows lurking in every corner and danger tightening its grip like a noose, the most haunting question echoes louder than ever. Will they find her in time? Or will the truth about Faith's return destroy everything they've ever loved? Their journey through time is not a straight path. It's a labyrinth, twisted and dark, filled with traps laid by enemies so ancient and secretive. Even the stones of Cray Nay Dun whisper their names in fear. The shadows of fate, an elusive and powerful order, will stop at nothing to protect the secret of Faith's existence. They are silent predators, hiding in plain sight, slipping through the folds of time like ghosts cold, calculating, and utterly without mercy. As Jamie and Claire chase echoes through the centuries, they uncover hidden wars fought in silence, betrayal buried in history, and allies who may not be what they seem. Each step toward faith is a step deeper into peril, and the closer they get to the truth, the more their reality begins to unravel. Their only hope lies in an ancient artifact of forbidden power, the Mirror of Echoes. This mysterious relic doesn't just show the past, it feels it. It connects them to faith in haunting fragments, fleeting, heart-wrenching visions of a little girl raised in isolation, staring out at a world she doesn't understand, searching for a family she's never known. Claire watches in silent agony as she sees Faith for the first time, her daughter's eyes filled with unanswered questions, her spirit flickering like a candle in the dark. Jamie sees the fire in her, his own strength mirrored in her defiance, her resilience, her will to survive. These glimpses give them hope, but they come with a terrible price. The Mirror of Echoes doesn't show without consequence. Every use fractures time a little more. The past begins to shift. Familiar faces forget who they are. Events that once happened now unfold differently. The future becomes unstable. The very thread of time begins to fray, and Jamie and Claire realize they're not only trying to save their daughter, they're fighting to save the world as they know it. And the shadows of fate are watching. Enraged by the couple's defiance and terrified of the power the mirror holds, the shadows of fate unleash their deadliest weapon, the Whisperer. A silent specter who haunts the corridors of time, the Whisperer leaves no trace, no warning, and no sound. He is always one step ahead, striking with brutal precision before vanishing like mist. For Jamie and Claire, every second becomes a deadly race against an invisible predator, a relentless battle for survival as the hunter draws ever closer. With time slipping away and reality itself beginning to collapse, Claire seeks out the one person who may still hold the key to saving their daughter, Master Raymond. But when she arrives at his secret sanctuary, she finds nothing but ruins and ashes. Raymond is gone, taken, or worse, lost to the shadows of fate. Yet amidst the destruction, a single sliver of hope remains, a tattered parchment, sealed with the mysterious mark of the serpent. A map. The map leads to the Temple of Time, the very place where Faith was hidden away, lost in the folds of history, and where the truth of her fate may finally be uncovered. With no time to spare, Jamie and Claire embark on an impossible journey, racing through shifting realities and relentless pursuit toward a heart of darkness and a mystery older than their love. To save Faith, they must be willing to sacrifice everything. And time? It's slipping through their fingers, faster than they can hold on. Their only hope? The Temple of Time. But the path is treacherous, leading them across ancient landscapes filled with deadly traps and perilous obstacles. With every step, the weight of the past presses down on them, and danger lurks around every corner. Jamie and Claire must lean on each other like never before, but their bond once their greatest strength becomes their greatest vulnerability. The shadows of fate know this, and they use it to torment them, twisting their emotions and breaking their spirits. Jamie is haunted by visions of losing Claire, while Claire is tormented by the crushing memory of Faith slipping through her fingers, once again just out of reach. They're fighting not only for their daughter, but for each other and for their very souls. As they near the Temple of Time, they realize they're not simply battling an ancient order. They're battling destiny itself. The shadows of fate are the guardians of time, the protectors of the timeline. To save Faith, Jamie and Claire must defy fate, rewrite history, and challenge the very fabric of time. But every change they make could tear the world apart. The stakes are higher than ever. Every choice they make could reshape history. The tension is unbearable. As they prepare to enter the Temple of Time, one question haunts them. Can they truly defy fate? Or will their quest to save Faith be their undoing? The battle is just beginning. The shadows of fate are closing in. The timeline is unraveling. And the quest to save Faith is about to take them to the edge of everything. Inside the Temple of Time, the air is heavy with ancient magic, and the walls whisper with the voices of those who came before. Jamie and Claire step cautiously, their hearts pounding as they realize they're standing at the center of everything. In a powerful nexus where past, present, and future converge, the temple is a labyrinth of shifting corridors and hidden passages designed to protect the greatest secret of all the truth about Faith's existence. But they're not alone. The Whisperer is here, lurking in the shadows, watching their every move. He is the shadows of Fate's most dangerous weapon, a man who can manipulate time itself, bending reality to his will. He taunts them, his voice echoing through the temple, reminding them they're trespassing on sacred ground. He knows their weaknesses, their fears, and he uses them mercilessly, creating illusions that blur the line between what's real and what's not. Jamie sees his father's face, accusing him of failing his family, while Claire is haunted by visions of Faith calling out for her just out of reach. The illusions are designed to break them, to drive them apart. But Jamie and Claire are stronger together. They cling to each other, refusing to let the darkness consume them. They fight through the illusions, grounding themselves in their love and trust. It's their bond that guides them through the labyrinth, leading them to the heart of the temple, the Chamber of Echoes. Deep within the hidden sanctuary, Jamie and Claire enter the Chamber of Echoes, a place untouched by time, heavy with silence and secrets. The air crackles with ancient energy. At the center lies an altar unlike anything they've ever seen, carved from obsidian stone and etched with glowing runes pulsing with an otherworldly light. This isn't just a relic of the past, it's a gateway between worlds. And it's here, in this sacred place, that Faith was taken from them so many years ago. The truth is close enough to touch. But unlocking it demands more than courage. It demands sacrifice. The chamber senses their presence, awakening from centuries of slumber. The symbols shift and shimmer as if alive, whispering in a forgotten language. Claire steps forward, heart pounding, hands trembling. She lays her palms on the altar, her love for Faith surging through her. Light explodes around her, swallowing her whole, and suddenly, she's no longer in the present. She's there in the past, watching the moment her daughter was stolen from time. Before Claire's eyes, the shadows of fate materialize from the depths of darkness, cloaked in cold silence, performing an ancient, forbidden ritual. Their chants fill the air, vibrating with the power of forgotten magic as they bind Faith with dark, soul-shattering spells. They believe her existence is a threat to the fragile balance of time itself. Claire watches in horror as they begin to erase her daughter from history, from her arms, from the very fabric of reality. But amid the despair, a single, fragile spark of hope. Through the haze of dark magic, Claire sees Faith, a little girl, eyes full of fire and heart heavy with sorrow. Her face flickers with confusion, but there is a flash of recognition. Faith knows her mother. Their gazes lock across the barrier of time itself. And then, in a voice trembling with pain, Faith whispers through the chamber's oppressive silence, "Mama, help me." Claire's heart shatters as she reaches out, but just as their hands are about to meet, the vision begins to disintegrate before her. A flash of steel. From the shadows, the Whisperer emerges, cold and deadly, like the very incarnation of death itself. His blade is aimed at Claire's heart, but in a heartbeat, Jamie is there. Driven by nothing but pure love, he intercepts the strike, and steel clashes with steel in a furious storm of violence. The Whisperer is swift, his movements almost inhuman, but Jamie fights with the desperation of a man who has nothing left to lose and everything left to protect. As the battle rages on, the chamber itself begins to crack under the strain of the battle and the collapsing timeline. Claire realizes the only way to reach Faith to save her is to break the seal the shadows of fate created. But doing so will tear the very fabric of time apart and unravel the chamber's magic, risking all of reality in the process. Still, Claire doesn't hesitate. With tears streaming down her face, she recites the ancient incantation left to her by Master Raymond, his final gift, etched in memory and sealed in fate. Her voice trembles, but grows stronger with every word, rising on the power of a mother's unyielding love. The altar bursts into blinding light. The chamber shakes violently, and time shatters. Past and present collide in a kaleidoscope of visions. Claire sees Faith growing up alone, but with strength forged in the shadows of her pain. She sees moments of joy and resilience amid the darkness. And then, for one perfect instant, Faith, no longer a child, stands beside Jamie and Claire, whole and smiling, their family reunited. But just as the vision reaches its peak, it vanishes. The Whisperer screams in rage, his power unraveling as the chamber collapses. He lunges for Claire, desperate to strike the final blow. But Jamie, bloodied and broken, meets him head-on. In a final, devastating blow, Jamie sends the Whisperer spiraling into the abyss, lost in the fractures of time, never to return. The victory is theirs, but it comes at an unspeakable cost. The Chamber of Echoes begins to implode. The altar cracks, its runes fading to ash. The Mirror of Echoes, once their guide, shatters into dust. The very sanctuary around them crumbles as Jamie and Claire race for their lives, dodging falling stone and collapsing magic. They burst into the open air just as the temple vanishes, swallowed by time itself, leaving only ruins in its wake. Exhausted and heartbroken, they fall to their knees, the weight of their loss sinking in. But Claire's resolve is unshaken. She's seen her daughter. She's heard her cry. And no force in the universe will keep them apart now. With eyes burning with unrelenting fire, Claire turns to Jamie. "We're getting her back," she vows, her voice unwavering. Jamie nods, love and fury blazing in his gaze. "I swear it. We'll bring her home." But as they rise, the sky above them shifts. The air feels colder. The trees seem older, the village lights beyond the hills unfamiliar. The timeline has changed. The world they've returned to is not the one they left. The shadows of fate may have been wounded, but they are far from defeated. As the ripples of broken time spread through history, a new battle begins. Destiny has been rewritten. For Jamie, Claire, and Faith, the true war has only just begun. Emerging from the ruins of the Temple of Time, Jamie and Claire quickly realize something is terribly wrong. The air is cold, the sky dark, and the land is scarred, as though touched by some ancient calamity. The timeline has been irrevocably changed, and the consequences are already spreading through history. But there's no time to dwell on the past. Faith is out there, trapped in the space between worlds. And with every second that passes, the stakes grow higher. Returning to Fraser's Ridge, they're met with familiar faces who seem off. Their friends and family look at them with suspicion, their memories altered by the timeline's shift. Even Brianna and Roger don't recognize them at first, their minds clouded by the shadows of fate's influence. It's as if Jamie and Claire are strangers in their own home. The heartbreak is palpable, but they refuse to give up. Determined to restore their family and find Faith, Claire dives into her books, searching for answers about the world between worlds. She recalls Master Raymond's cryptic warnings about the void where time stands still, a place where souls can be lost forever. But there's a way in a hidden portal known as the Gate of Shadows, guarded by the last remnant of the shadows of fate. To open the gate, they need the Key of Echoes, a mystical artifact lost to time. Legend has it that the key is hidden within the stones, protected by ancient magic. But the stones are even more dangerous now, unstable from the temple's destruction. One wrong step could send them hurtling into an unknown era, lost forever. Jamie and Claire have no choice. To save Faith, they must risk everything. Their quest takes them across Scotland, following the whispers of old legends. They face enemies who remember the world before the timeline changed, shadows of fate loyalists who seek to restore their master's power. These foes are relentless, willing to do anything to stop Jamie and Claire from reaching the gate. The battles are fierce, the enemies cunning and ruthless, but Jamie and Claire are a force to be reckoned with. Fighting side by side, their bond is unbreakable. Through every challenge, their love remains their greatest strength. They face illusions designed to break their spirits' visions of a future without each other, of faith lost forever. But they refuse to be swayed. They've come too far to turn back now. Their determination drives them forward through storms and shadows until they finally reach the stones. The Key of Echoes is hidden deep within the heart of the stones, protected by an ancient guardian, a creature born of magic and time. It's a battle unlike any they've faced before, fighting against a force of nature itself. But they're stronger together. With Jamie's strength and Claire's cunning, they outsmart the guardian, retrieving the key just as the stones begin to collapse around them. But as they escape the crumbling ruins, they're confronted by the last shadow of fate, the Whisperer's master, who reveals a terrible truth. By breaking the seal and altering the timeline, Claire has unleashed a paradox that threatens to erase Faith from existence entirely. The only way to save her is to use the Key of Echoes to rewrite history at the cost of Claire's own life. It's a devastating choice. Claire is willing to make the sacrifice, her love for Faith stronger than her fear of death. But Jamie refuses to let her go. He won't lose her again. In a heartbreaking moment, he begs Claire to stay, to find another way. But Claire knows there's no other choice. She kisses Jamie one last time, her tears mingling with his as she steps into the stones, the Key of Echoes glowing in her hands. Time bends around her, the world spinning as she faces the void where Faith is trapped. She calls out, her voice echoing through the darkness, and Faith's face appears, her eyes filled with hope and love. Claire reaches out, her fingers brushing against Faith's, and in that instant, time itself fractures. The very fabric of reality explodes in blinding light. The timeline resets, Claire's sacrifice rewriting the past, present and future in one devastating moment. Back at Fraser's Ridge, Jamie falls to his knees, his heart shattering as he feels Claire slipping away, the echo of her absence tearing through him. But then a miracle. Claire reappears, falling into Jamie's arms, breathless and broken, but alive. The Key of Echoes has shielded her, protecting her soul from the overwhelming darkness beyond time. She's here. She made it back. And beside them, radiant and tearful, stands Faith, no longer a whisper lost in time, no longer a memory mourned. She is alive. She is home. The Fraser family is whole again. But this reunion is far from the end. The shadows of fate may have been defeated, but the scars of tampering with time run deeper than they could ever have imagined. The very fabric of the timeline has shifted, and the consequences of Claire's sacrifice are just beginning to ripple through reality. They've shattered the rules of destiny. They defied the forces that tried to erase their daughter, and they've rewritten history itself. But the lingering question hangs in the air like smoke, unavoidable and heavy. At what cost? As Jamie holds Claire and Faith close, his gaze drifts to the horizon, where time, love, and danger now collide. The world has changed, and with it, their greatest fight may still lie ahead. Outlander Season 8, Episode 1 has given us a miracle, but also a warning. So, what's next? Will the shadows of fate rise again? Can Jamie and Claire protect the fragile thread of time they've so desperately pulled? And what does the future truly hold for Faith, the girl destined to reshape destiny itself? Now, it's your turn. We want to know your thoughts. What did you think of this game-changing premiere? Is Faith's return a blessing, or is it the beginning of something far darker than we could ever imagine? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We read every single one. Your theories, your feelings, your wildest ideas, we want to hear them all. If you're as hooked as we are, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single twist in this epic journey through time. Thank you for watching, for feeling every heartbeat of this story with us, and for being a part of this incredible Outlander family. Your passion and engagement mean the world to us. Until next time, the future is unwritten, and together we'll face whatever it holds.